Good morning, class. I hope you all had a splendid break. Welcome to FNAF Design 101. Throughout this course, we'll be going over the basics of FNAF game and fan game design, looking into the best and worst, and finding out if we can make the perfect FNAF fan game. It's a challenging task, and we will not be... Oh, do you hear that? It's the sound of the entire FNAF community with their bats and torches telling me to put myself in a Springlock suit. Now, allow me to explain myself. The perfect FNAF gameplay style is not as set in stone as it might seem. It's not a straight path to the goal filled with Goombas and pitfalls. It's more like a flow chart or a Star Fox map. You can take different paths, and as long as you avoid all the pitfalls, you'll find the goal at the end. And the FNAF community has some varied opinions. Some like FNAF 2, some like Sister Location, and others are smart. The goal here is to make the perfect game out of what we're given. What makes a perfect one-night game is going to be different than what makes a perfect Pizza Sim clone or a perfect free roam game, etc. So let's quickly go over the syllabus. For starters, I'm not here to tell you what your game should look like. I don't care if you make a Jaguar animatronic or set your game in an American Red Cross. Aesthetic, themes, story, heck, even the engine you use is entirely up to you. Just don't use Unity. You can have full 3D renders or just PNGs. I won't give any input on that. This class is all about gameplay. If that's not what you're here for, I don't know how to help you. Now, before anything else, there are 3 things we need to decide for our game. Perspective, format, and formula. These are the fundamentals of any FNAF game, and what makes one perfect will depend on these aspects. Perspective is how your player interacts with the world and how they get around and experience your game. Format is how the different parts of your game are, well, formatted. It's basically what your game looks like from a level-by-level view. Formula is how your player progresses. Again, there is no objectively correct way to do any of these. I'm not going to tell you which perspective, format, or formula is best. It's all about the execution. And I'm going to go in depth on all of them, noting what works for each of them and what doesn't. After such, we'll discuss some general ground rules and things never to do no matter what, or things you can do to make your game that much cooler. Afterwards, we'll go over a few good and bad examples of secrets, bonuses, etc., just some extra stuff. And finally, we'll be going over some perfect FNAF games and fan games. Now, it's probably worth noting that I am not a professional. I am in the process of making a FNAF fan game in the far background, so most of this comes from my experience with the series and the community. If you want to make a video response as to why I'm wrong and Post If 2 is the greatest game of all time, by all means, I'll even watch it. This is just something I want to do. I want to explore the series that fascinates me and see what works and what doesn't. I want to see this community thrive. So, without further ado, pull out your computers, your favorite game engine, and a pen and paper. It's game making time.